Cooking Matters number 3, shop and get the best for less. Our speaker for today's morning session is Martina Curie. She is the Chief of Student Health and Wellness. And at this time, I will stop presenting my screen and turn it over to our speaker, Ms. Curry, so that she can introduce herself and start off with our Cooking Matters number 3. Thank you so much for joining.
Hello, my name is Marcia Kay. Ms. Curry is not here today, but I will be presenting this session for you all. I hope that everybody is having a good day. At this time, I'm going to ask Evelyn to start presenting our slides. When we are finished with our slides, we will make a recipe, and our recipe for today is called Cowboy Caviar. If there are any questions while I am preparing or talking about our slides, feel free to ask me and I will answer to the best of my abilities. All right, so shop, get the best for less. What this lesson is about is going to the grocery store and not spending an excessive amount of money. We've all done it. We went to Walmart going in for one thing, came out with $200 of groceries or extra unnecessary stuff that we did not need. Or Target. If you go to Target, usually it's about $300, but I'm not gonna go there. So we're gonna talk about how to stretch our food dollars. Food is getting expensive. There is inflation. Everything goes up. So we're going to try to find some ways to make sure that all of our money that's allocated for food gives us the food that we need and we don't go above our budget. Okay, make a shopping list based on your menu for the week. Okay, now listen. We all know a lot of people are doing like meal prepping, right? But how many of you all have done like I did? Go to the grocery store, come back home, find out that I didn't need another thing of ketchup. I didn't need another thing of mustard. I did not need any more pasta sauce. But because these are things that I usually buy, I came home with all of that. Yes, I did. So that was unnecessary money spent. Now what I do is I put a list on the refrigerator. If I know that I've run out of eggs, I've run out of milk, me and my household will write it on the list so that when I'm going to the grocery store, take it off the refrigerator, go ahead and get what I need to get. Check what you have. This is what we were saying. Check in the refrigerator, in your cabinets. Make sure that you don't need these things. Even trying to go on a don't spend week. That is also a good thing. A lot of times we'll think we have to go to the grocery store every week because this is something that we do. No, you don't. Find out what's in your refrigerator. What's in your cabinets? Cook that food so you won't have to spend this money for groceries on this week. Maybe next week, this money that you've allocated for groceries, this is extra money. So you'll have a chance to get more of what you like. Get your family involved. Make the kids write on the list. Because usually I know a lot of times we don't like to take our kids to the grocery store because they'll buy stuff, sugary foods, sugary cereal, stuff that they like. But if you get them involved, and try to get them to buy more fruits and vegetables, like let's try something new, maybe they'll be more prone to eating the foods and going to the grocery store with you. And use foods that are in season because they're cheaper. Right now, watermelons are in season. They've been going down price. Like I went and got a watermelon last week for $5. This week they're $3.99. So if they're in season, that means there's a lot of it. So you're not going to spend that much money. Get foods in season, they'll taste better and they'll be better. Okay, shopping tips. Check the newspaper. I know a lot of people get those little leaflets. They throw them in front of your door before Wednesday. All sales go over on a Wednesday. Every Wednesday is going to change at all of our grocery stores. Look in the sales paper. What is cheaper this week? Is this something that I want? Don't just go buy it because it's cheaper. Make sure that you're going to use it. But knowing that if I go to this store, it's cheaper as opposed to going to this store, it's $1 more. And if you add that up by a pound, you're going to get more for your money if you go to the store that it's cheaper at. Shopping tips. Have a budget and don't go past that budget. Make sure that you have this amount. And if I take this much to the store and I don't have any more, I'm not going to spend any more. Make a list. Stick to your list. Just because this thing is on sale and you're hungry and you want it right now, that don't mean that you need it. Don't shop when you're hungry. Please don't, because you're gonna come out the store with a whole lot of junk that aisle right before you get out with all that candy and all that stuff. You're gonna pick some up there. Don't shop hungry. Eat something before you get to the grocery store so you can save some money. Teach children to shop with a list. Teach them, because if you don't, they're just going, I want these Cheetos, I want this. And another thing I do, I don't even walk down aisles that I don't want food from. Know what you want, go down that aisle, and that's it. Beware of specials that are not really the best price. A lot of times we'll have stuff, well, it'll say, well, this is get the best for less, but it's not really the best price. A lot of times we'll feel like we have to buy the name brand because this is what we think. The macaroni and cheese, you don't have to get the Velveeta box. It's $4 more than the other box. Get the regular box, spice up the flavor, and you're going to save yourself at least $2 to $3. Make sure that using coupons give you the best price. Sometimes the coupons are not going to give you the best price. If you are using a coupon, make sure you're going on the day that you can actually use a coupon. And it's a good coupon. Don't just buy the stuff because you got a coupon for it. Buy it because you're going to use it. Fruits and vegetables. Okay, so a lot of times if the food is not in season, it's going to be more expensive if you do get it fresh. So we recommend, if you can't get fresh, try to get frozen. Frozen are things that are picked in the peak of its season, so it's at its best, it's its ripest and everything, and it's frozen immediately. So you're still going to get the nutrients and everything that you wanted out of the fresh. Canned is also good. Canned has a great shelf life. When you do use canned foods, though, we ask that you wash them because they are preserved. So there's a lot of salt, a lot of sodium put in this can to make sure that the foods don't break down. When you use this, wash it off, and it'll be better for you and your family. What item is really the best item? So, which is really the best buy for you? We were talking about this. Don't just buy it because it's on sale. Buy it because you know you're going to use it and your family's going to eat it. Okay, this is unit price. Unit price, you see how much it is per ounce. So this is a 9-ounce ham, and this is the price per package. Price of the package of food is $3.49. So you're buying this ham, 9 ounces, and you're going to pay $3.49 for it. Now, if I went to the grocery store and I got it fresh and I wanted it sliced, I can get more for my pound. But because it's prepackaged, you're going to pay a little more for it. So pay attention to those things. 25-ounce jar of applesauce, 5 cents per ounce. Or do you want a 50-cent jar of applesauce, 4 cents per ounce? Anybody got any? What do you think about that? Is this something that you all look at when you go to the grocery store? Does anybody look at unit price and ounces? Anybody?
I have never looked at the unit price when going to the store. So this is something that is interesting now. So I'm going to follow. I'll let you finish because, yeah, this is something that I've never, ever done. There are 2 questions. Well, I'm going to say one question in the chat box. Is it okay if I share that with you right now? Do you recommend to rinse off the frozen items?
You can rinse them off if you would like, but they are washed before they are frozen. So it's not really necessary that you wash it, but if that's something that you want to do, you can absolutely do that. And when you are cooking frozen things, it is best to take them straight out of the frozen and cook them. Like, you don't have to rinse it. You really don't. But because there's no preservative put on it, like our canned goods. Canned goods, when you read the bottle, there's a whole lot of sodium. And a lot of times we get these high blood pressure issues. Why am I swollen? Well, there was a lot of sodium in your canned goods. Did you wash them off, or did you open them and just pour them right in the pot and cook it?
That's really good, Ms. K, because a lot of times you don't think to wash off the canned goods. Some people just stay away. I normally typically just stay away from them and just go towards the fresh or the frozen. But for those that prefer to do can on a time when you're on a time crunch, it's okay, but to wash them. So I think that's really good. And I'm gonna make sure I share that with
And
some
it's
of the people
also,
around me who have the high blood pressure also. That's
yeah,
really good. Thank you.
it's about the quickness of how you're preparing this, and also a lot of times right now, especially people are going to food pantries, and we're not wasting any food. So we're going to use whatever we have because a lot of our money now has to go other places. So if I have, and if you buy fresh food and you don't cook it right then, if it goes bad, you've now wasted that money. So we have to look at, are we going to waste it or are we going to use it right away? Next slide, please, Evelyn. Okay, large 32-ounce container of yogurt, 8 cents per ounce, or small individual 6-ounce containers of yogurt, 11 cents per ounce. Now, I know that a lot of people will be like, well, that's a big difference. But if you're a parent, those smaller containers will make more sense to you because this way I can pack this in my kids' lunch or whatever. It's easy for me. Or I may be a single person. That 32 ounce makes more sense to me because I know I can go in there and just, separate. And if I'm a food prepper, I want to separate it. So it also works how it works in your family. Everything that works like unit pricing might not work for your family. Like this smaller containers might work. Me, the larger container works. So there is no right or wrong. It's also about what works for your household, what works for your family. Shopping tips. Start with the list. Check the store sales. Select the coupons you will use. Check the unit pricing. Select the best buy and be flexible. Now, what one change will you make in how you shop for food because of this lesson? Thank you, Evelyn.
Okay, some of them, yeah, actually, we're all in agreement this morning. Gloria says, stick to the list. My response was also create a list.
Yes.
A lot of times, and I don't really know if it's community based or just what you've been taught, but a lot of times, I know for me, I have teenagers, but I never really did the listing. I normally go and get the same items every time I go into the store. So in my head, I'm like, I don't need to create a list because I already know what I'm going to get. However, I have my mother who does a list and has always done a list all my life, even as a child. And I just feel like it's so time
Right.
consuming to a
Okay, so think
certain
about
degree
this. How often are you on your phone?
all the time.
So, how easy is it to click on notes and say, I need this, or jot this down? I want this. You can even speak into Siri or Alexa. Hey, Siri, create a grocery list for me. There is so much that we can do, but we make stuff so hard. Promise you, I know. I am the person who won't even take my husband to the grocery store with me because he buys too much stuff.
Ditto.
I will take my children with our list.
That's good. And I'm looking at the chat. I have a hand raised. Give me 1 second, Miss Hernandez. The one comment that I see is a takeaway, which is to read the ounces and think about what your household's needs are. I think this I don't know if I'm the only one on here, but I never read the ounces before. I just automatically look at the prices, and you can save a lot from looking at the pictures and if it's good for your household needs. So that's something I'll be looking at. Miss Evelyn, you can unmute yourself and ask your question at this time.
Just a comment here. Here's my list. You probably cannot because of the lighting. I'm in my notes in my phone, and that's exactly what I do because I will forget, and I am victim and or guilty, I should say, of going in the store. Two items, and I tell myself 2 items, 2 items, 2 items. Walk out 10 items. I don't even take a bag because I say I don't need a bag. I'm only getting these 2 items, and then I'm carrying my arms like this. And again, what Marcia says: don't shop when you're hungry. Take that list. And another thing is by teaching kids, okay, I need your help. We're gonna go to the store. Here is our list. I need you to cross off what we get. I need you to help me find the things And I want you to understand before we go, this is what mom has, or this is what dad has for the allowance for the budget. We cannot buy things out of this, but I promise maybe next week we can get one item that you like.
Yes.
And that's another tip to help kids to understand that we are on a budget and this is what we need to stick to. Because sometimes you have those fights where they're wanting those things, and it may be good to prepare them in advance.
Yes. And also, as parents, all of us are parents. I'm a mom of 3, and I got a husband. We're busy. So if one night I'm tired, I'm beat, I'm not cooking, we're going to eat some pizza. Don't feel bad about it. Don't feel guilty about the way you shop for your family. If y'all like Hot Pockets, that's your business. Don't feel bad about how you do things in your house. We're just giving you tips to help you out later on. So maybe on the weekend, you know what you're cooking. Let's prep some things. I'm not really busy today. Let's work this out. Even make freezer meals. You want a pot roast? You know you do. I don't have time to cook it right now. Buy the meat because it's on sale. Season it. Put all your vegetables in the bag. Put it in the freezer. When you want that pot roast, take it out, put it in the oven or the crock pot. It'll be ready by the time you get home.
That is so true. Did that yesterday. Quick question. Well, really not a question. It's a comment from Miss Carol. She said what she do is she have a dry erase list and the markers on and it's attached to her refrigerator, the markers. When something is running low in her home, it is everyone's job to write it on the list, not just her responsibility.
Yes. Good. Were there any more questions that you ladies had?
Not at this time. You can continue.
Okay, so we're going to start making our recipe. I'm going to bring my screen down so that you all can see. Okay, so today we're going to make a cowboy caviar. And what this is like a salsa. So we are using canned goods. I did rinse them. We're using black beans. You don't have to use black beans. You got some white beans, you got some navy beans, you got some kidney beans, whatever you want. It's up to you. So we're going to use a can of black beans. That goes right in there. We're going to use a can of corn. That goes right in there. Now, if you have fresh corn, because fresh corn is really on sale right now. I think it's like 10 years or dollars somewhere I went. You can use that. We use a can, and it's okay. So I am going to use, this is a pepper. So I took the seeds out because I don't like spicy. So if you want the seeds, you can keep the seeds in. Whatever pepper you want to use, you can use that. This is how it looks with the seeds. This is how it looks without. I don't like spicy, so I take the seeds out. So we're going to cut this. We're going to cut it small because usually if it's smaller, kids are more prone to eat it. And you can also invite them in to cook with you. Don't tell the kids, no, get out the kitchen, I'm trying to do this. Give them a job. If you give them a job, they'll feel like they've done something in cooking with you. So we're going to be small. And it doesn't matter what color you have. If you have green, if you have yellow, whatever color peppers you have, it's up to you. You want to put some tomatoes in here, you can do that as well. We're going to put that here. And we're also going to use a bell pepper. So this is a bell pepper. It looks like the pepper, but it's not. It's just because it's red. If you have a green, yellow, whatever color you want to use, you can do that as well. And we're going to do the same thing with these. Cut them in thin slices, and we're going to cut them straight across. And if you wanted to put some onion in here, you can do that as well. And the same thing as far as the color. Whatever color you want to use, you can do that. And also, because we are using beans, those are our proteins. Beans are a great source of protein. If you don't want to eat meat today, but you know you still need to incorporate protein in your diet, use some beans. Any kind of beans. They work, and they're absolutely fine.
Quick question: was the first pepper that you used a jalapeno pepper?
It was a spicy pepper. I don't know if it was a jalapeno. Evelyn, do you know? I don't know. I don't eat peppers personally.
Okay. No, I don't. That's why I was asking because I couldn't see. So it was just a spicy pepper, and I was curious because I wasn't sure if it was a long red bell pepper,
No,
but it seems like it's a spicy
this
pepper.
is a top. It's just a
Oh,
spicy
okay.
pepper. This was the top of the pepper. It's just a spicy pepper.
Okay. Great tip, taking out the veins and the and the seeds. The veins are what hold the heat, everyone.
Mhm.
So your choice on how much you want to leave as far as heat goes.
So now we're going to use a lime. So a lime brightens up the flavor of certain things. It also stops oxidation. In our salsa today, we don't have anything that will oxidize, but it will lighten up and brighten up the flavor for us. Also, I am not adding any salt to this. And the reason I'm not adding salt is because we have two canned goods. There's usually a residual salt that's, made, it's gotten into the food. So we don't use any salt. I'm going to use this lime to get some of this lime juice. Okay. Also, a little chili powder. Now, if you have other powders, like you got some smoked paprika, you got some jalapeno powder, any kind of powder you want, or any kind of seasons you want, you can add that to this also. We're just going to sprinkle it over the top. There is no salt in this chili powder also. This is just chili powder.
FYI, the chili powder is for flavor. It's a smoked chili. It is not for heat.
Yeah, just flavor. This is also olive oil. Just going to drizzle a little bit. Okay. Now we're going to mix. And this is how it looks. Very colorful, very beautiful, and it took no time to prepare it. So if you wanted to prepare this at home one night, if you want just a snack, eat it with some chips, eat it on a tostada, eat it with your tacos, or I just wanted it. It's good for breakfast. I cooked it with eggs, made some eggs, made this on the side, and it was really good. It just depends on what you want. And if this doesn't work, like the same flavor profile doesn't work for you and your family, find out what does. Figure it out. See if it works for your kids. Have them help you prepare it so that they can see, oh, this was easy. Oh, this might taste good. If you get them to taste it, I promise you, you got them. Were there any questions?
Not at this time. Mostly comments of how delicious it looked, and they love the knife trick that you showed to get the juice out of the lime. And we do have a question coming in, Miss Hernandez.
Yes.
You can unmute.
Hi, just a comment. So for those of you that are salt restricted, or you have family members that are salt restricted, because it's a big item in our family. So another way to get the salt flavoring is to add garlic, onion, and lime. Those would be 3 items that you can add to your recipes. Again, depending on what the recipe is, but that will give you the salt taste for those of you that have been restricted with salt.
Are there any questions from anybody in the group?
Marcia, there's one in the chat. It says, how long will this last in the fridge?
It's not perishable. There's nothing in here that will perish. So I would do 2 days. As a rule of thumb, we say don't keep anything in the refrigerator if you have prepared it, like cooked food or anything, longer than 2 days. But it's not going to stay in there that long, I promise. And if you don't want to make a large amount, you can use the smaller cans, like a small can of corn or a small can of beans. Like I didn't use a whole pepper. I only use a small amount, so it's up to you.
Thank you for that. This was wonderful. Are there any more questions in the room today? And it did not take you long at all. I'm a salsa girl, so I love anything that's in any way reminds me of salsa. I would throw me
Put some
some
tomatoes
tomatoes in there.
in. Put you some tomatoes. If you like a spicier, get you a jalapeno or a ghost pepper. If
It's
you want it
good.
fried, I can't do that. But make it work for you. Figure it out, taste it, try it, see what you want, see what you don't want. I like a little smoked paprika and like Evelyn was talking about, some garlic powder and some onion powder. Or you can do fresh garlic. You can also do fresh cilantro. It just depends
That's
on
what I'll
what you
do.
want to put in it. It's up to you. And you saw
Yes.
how easy it was. It was 4 ingredients. No, 5 because of the lime. Like, come on. Those are the base. That's the base of this recipe. Everything else you can build on it.
Avocado's a good add-in. Red
Yes.
onion or green onion.
See?
That definitely takes it to another level. Anybody who would like to mix your flavors, mango.
Yes.
Yes.
So that would be a way of adding heat, sweet, and spice.
Oh,
It's
that's
just up to
wonderful.
you.
Okay.
We gave you the blueprint, and you can go and run and change the world.
Thank you for that. I was laughing because a comment said, "You're a big girl if you're eating ghost peppers," and I was tickled.
Real big
Yeah, I
girl.
stay
Like,
away
I'm not
from
even
those
walking.
peppers, Miss Carol. Anybody, you got to
I'm
have be able to
like,
take the heat.
Yes.
I'm 37. I'm not grown.
Me either. I'm not grown. I just made for my father-in-law a and he's salt restricted. So I made him a habanero, which for anybody that
Mm,
knows is extremely hot.
yes, it
Uh,
is.
with no salt, and I prepared a mix for him that I will send to him, but I won't even taste it to see what it tastes like. I had my husband taste it because no, I don't go there.
Mm-mm.
Oh, this has been really wonderful. I always enjoy cooking matters of and thinking about the different ways that I can help improve. And at this time, I just want to find out, are there any more questions in the chat box coming in? I'm checking. I don't see any more at this time. Our presenter, is there anything else you would like to share? Okay,
No.
well, we really appreciate you for standing in on today. We thoroughly have enjoyed you. Thank you all for joining us this morning.